Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It is the morning here and I've had a brilliant night's sleep. And this morning I got up, I've spent the last couple of hours reading all your comments on the last video from yesterday. Thank you so much, all of you. There's a lady who commented, and I think it's quite important to clarify this because I think she might be new. The tagline, "Good night and may your God go with you," is a famous line from a comedian, British comedian called Dave Allen, the late, great Dave Allen. And basically, I think the point he was trying to make is there is only one God, because I got a bit of a telling off about there is only one. Well, I mean, people's personal belief systems are up to them, you know. My late husband loved Dave Allen, so did I, and he always used to sign off that way, so I thought I'd start with that one. That was just the only unusual comment that I saw, and I thought, oh, I'll probably better explain that. Do you know, I remember back in the days, in, I think it was the 70s, the film The Life of Brian. People went absolutely crazy about it, but the film itself isn't actually about religion, it's about fanaticism. Well, that's what I think. Right, I thought I would talk all about you guys today, because you astonish me, you really do. Thank you so much for all your comments and pearls of wisdom, and I mean that genuinely, pearls of wisdom. And it got me thinking. I mean, I've thought of this before, but I've never really sort of dug into it. That Meghan and Harry had a ready-made fan base. All of us, didn't they? And little bit by little bit, they alienated that automatic, ready-made fan base. It's extraordinary, actually. I mean, such is the craziness of those two. But I mean, this video isn't really about those two. Just generally, I always find myself wandering back to them because they are such prime examples of how not to live one's life, really. But I think they took it all for granted. You know, Harry was once upon a time the second most popular royal, below his grandmother. And he clearly took it for granted. And I think a lot of other people do. And I want you to know that I do not take any of you for granted. I love your critical thinking. I love your questioning, and I trust you. That's the big thing. I trust you. It's up to you. People watch, and I feel that sometimes, let's use Harry and Meghan as an example, they think we're all stupid. And I think that maybe other celebrities or people on the internet think that their listeners are stupid. That listeners and watchers, you know, when you watch TV or you watch YouTube, forget the way things actually happened. I mean, Harry clearly does, to have said to that, what is it, Tom Bradby? He said, "We never mentioned racism in the Oprah interview." No, it was the press that made that up. You know, that is a classic example of being up one's own arse to such a degree that a person believes that they can literally say one thing 1 minute and then another thing the next minute, and that the listeners, the audience, us, we're so stupid we just won't remember that they said the thing before and how they said it and the context in which it was said, the facial expressions, the body language, the whole context of the thing. They are so arrogant. And I tell you where I think this arrogance comes from. It comes really from mistaken popularity, doesn't it? I mean, I love all of you guys, and I love your comments. I think some people maybe read comments and think, oh, I can walk on water. Maybe like Harry and Meghan. Oh, I've got stardust. I can walk on water. I can say what I fucking well like, and everyone will just lap it up like stupid little kittens. Well, some people do, but perhaps not for long. I remember back in the day reading the comments on the Daily Mail section about Meghan Markle, because as soon as I saw that interview, the engagement interview, I thought, it can't just be me. Well, there weren't many of us, were there? I don't know if any of you guys remember going. In fact, you can look up old articles in the Daily Mail And you can go read the comments and you can see there used to be, for Harry and Meghan, on the average Daily Mail article, there would be between 7,000 and 20,000 comments. That's a lot of comments. You look these days, a successful article for them, because they want, the more comments they get, the better. They probably get 4,500 comments if they're lucky. Whereas back then, boy, they were getting a lot of comments. And I would always go, oh, I still do, best rated, worst rated. Well, oh, I hope you can hear me over this wind. It's literally just started. Don't wind, please. And if you find, I'll have to try and dig out some of these old articles and then you'll see what I mean. If you go to best rated, oh, the public, the majority, and then you can see how many likes the top comments had. I mean, it would have like 20,000, 30,000 likes. I love Harry and Meghan. I love, you know, everybody was happy for them. And then I'd go to worst rated. I mean, this was before they got married. And it was people saying, I don't know, I'm not sure about this girl. I've got my doubts about this girl. And there'd be loads of red arrow down ticks for it. Oh boy, how things have changed. And they must, I bet you they did read it. I bet you they still watch everything, read everything. Of course they do. And I bet they misinterpreted that goodwill for, you know, I can walk on water. I can say what I like. I can lie through my arse constantly. And even though it's been recorded in the media, people, because they love me so much, they're just going to believe what I say. Did something just move behind me? I'll have to watch that. Did you just see something? I think I'm seeing things now. Perhaps it was a seagull. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? This sort of egocentric, they let it go to their heads, don't they? I saw it in Meghan's face when they were in the carriage after they got married. I mean, she was looking up in the sky. Her whole head exploded. You know, she boom, 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 boom. She really believed those crowds were there cheering for her. I bet in her mind, she thought they were dancing in the streets in South Africa. That's where she's got that from. She probably thought they were dancing in the streets in every country across the world, like the whole planet. She's like, boom, 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 boom. Meghan, 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 Meghan. Well, it's a very, very big mistake. And having read all of your comments, I feel extremely humbled at how supportive and how kind you are. And I'd never take that for granted. I see myself as, we're all the same. I'm a listener, I'm a viewer, I'm a watcher. I just happen to have a YouTube channel. Any of you guys too could start a YouTube channel and start chatting. I remember when I first started this and I got my first subscriber, I thought, oh my God, I've got someone to talk to. And by the time I got 10, I remember thinking, imagine if there were 10 people in my living room. Oh my God, this is so... And then 100, I'm like, oh, my mind's starting to get blown. There's a lot of other people. And I think, so I see us all as the same, as a group. And it is interesting. And it's the internet as a whole, from what I've observed, and I was on it from the beginning, you know, from dot. I didn't really understand what the hell it was, but I remember 1993. And the first thing that happened when the internet was born was everyone had email. There was no Google, there was no Yahoo, we didn't have search engines. It was just, all I could see was a white screen with a flashing cursor. I typed hello and I got some message back from, I think, NATO saying, you have no permission to be on here. And I thought, oh, it was just a generic message. But I thought at the time, I took it personally. I thought, oh my God, I'm in trouble with NATO. And then bit by bit it developed, and there were the chat rooms and the pop-ups. Remember them? First thing, mankind, Sir Tim Berners-Lee invents the internet, the World Wide Web. Because I know people get picky about that. Yes, there were telex machines before that, and you know, smoke signals and all. But Sir Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. What was the first thing humanity did with it? Pornography, of course. There were pornographic chat rooms, forums everywhere. I remember with my boyfriend, he just wanted to make friends on a forum. So he used his name, which is a man's name, and nobody would talk to him. So he said, I'm going to use your name. And he said, my name's Fiona. Suddenly the chat boxes were coming at him. So that was what humanity did with the internet to begin with. And then it evolved. And then it was all money-making schemes. So sex, money, humanity. That's what humanity did. Then the cats came. The cats. I love watching the cats. And as Sir Tim Berners-Lee says, he feels like he invented a forum for cats, and more cats. And then bit by bit, I used to go on it, say, 1994, and I'd think it's a bit limited, that there must be people who are interested in other genres, other subjects, and bit by bit it's fragmented and other subjects started. Then, of course, the argument started online, pointlessargument.com forum, where people would, everyone's got to have the last word. Netiquette evolved. And bit by bit, it's a learning curve, really, for humanity. That's how I see it. And things will get better and will improve. And along come Meghan and Harry. And as I say, they have this ready-made audience, not fan base, support network that are there for the monarchy, that are there for the royal family, and people have their members of the family they like. I really hope you can hear me over this. I'm going to have to get a microphone. We tried with microphones a few years ago, but they were actually worse. I'll try moving it a bit to there so it's shielded. So yeah, it is a learning curve. The whole internet is a learning curve. It's almost like when the internet was born, it was like going back to caveman days, where a dude would bop a woman on the head and drag her back to the cave. And things have evolved. And human behaviour, I think, has improved, actually. I think harking back to those days, and people have become a lot more sophisticated, especially when looking at old comments of Harry and Meghan with all the well-wishers. And then the voices started to grow about the doubts about Meghan, and it started to go the other way. And now these days, of course, if you look on the Daily Mail, it's positively is the other way. But it wasn't always that way. I always remember one comment someone made on the Daily Mail about Meghan. I'll never forget it. And it must have been someone who knew her, or someone who worked in the palace. I don't know who it was, but they said, if you think Princess Diana was a loose cannonball, wait till you find out about Meghan. She is like a leaking atomic bomb, and she is going to leak radiation all over the royal family. And even I thought that was harsh at the time, but actually, I don't think they were far wrong. I look at her more and think how extreme and how damaging the lies, and they're actually doing a great service for the internet. The one thing they want to do, or they claim they want to do with the internet, is the way we see it is silence us. The way they see it is stop the criticism. But because of all the things and their attempts and efforts to silence us, they themselves have, I think, actually made the internet a much more sophisticated place. And I can see that from you guys. It's not simply, I hate Meghan, I hate Meghan, I hate, which it could have been years ago. It's more long comments, well, actually this, and I had this experience in my life, and I've been watching that, and the nuances, and I saw the way she looked in her eye. And some of you actually almost defend her and say, well, I can understand. And it's very, very interesting. It's an interesting evolution to see. And it doesn't just apply, of course, to Meghan and Harry. It applies to a lot of people. Celebrities themselves are going to have to up their game, aren't they? They're so fucking narcissistic, plastic, fake. Oh, it's like, give it up. Those days are kind of gone, aren't they? Although I look back to some celebrities, big superstars like Freddie Mercury, and he was just Freddie, and that's why, because he shone from within. I always Princess Diana shone from within. There are certain people who come along occasionally, and that's why they're, you know, they're big. That's why they're popular. Anyway, right, today's plan. I had the best night's sleep last night. I've been into watching old episodes of Charlie's Angels, the original ones, because I follow Jacelyn Smith on Instagram, and oh my God, that woman looks fantastic. And I follow all the Knots Landing people, so I've been watching that. But there's only a couple of full episodes with Farrah Fawcett, and there's some other channel that's got the whole lot on, but unfortunately I think it's in Korean. So I watched one of them, went to bed, had a great night's sleep, and yesterday Benjamin ordered a petrol surfboard. It's like the electric surfboard. He's ordered it. I don't think it's going to be the right thing because he got it really cheap. We'll see what happens. And he swears blind that my dinghy will never work, and I'm determined, yes, it will. Now, the problem with the dinghy is when I get in it to try and row, I've got two problems. Firstly, my normal paddles that I use for the dinghy, they're a bit too big for the holes. Also, this little blow-up dinghy is really small, so I can't row properly. Secondly, I go round and round in circles because there is no hull. It's just, pretty much flat. So what I need to do, I've been looking this up, I've done a lot of research. I need to order some stabilising fins, which can be stuck to the underside of a paddleboard, an inflatable. So it comes with special inflatables. And also one of those water scooters, that pulls you through the water. There's one you can get where you can either use it to pull you through the water, or you can clip it onto the underside of a paddleboard, or my thing, and use it as an electric motor with a remote control. Now, what I want is not something that's going to go neck break speed, but I don't want something that's going to go really, really slow either. Now, I've watched these things on a paddleboard, and they will propel a fairly large paddleboard with a big guy standing on it, and a paddleboard's a huge surface. So I'm thinking, my little dinghy, I'm thinking that's going to be good. I also want to be able to stand up, so we can go around the marina standing up. It'll feel like walking on water, won't it? Oh, we'll be able to walk on water. But not like Jesus did, or Dynamo, or some big-headed egotistical narcissists. Not like that. With the help of an inflatable dinghy, and I am determined that this science experiment is going to work, and I'm going to put Benjamin in his box. So anyway, this video, it was really to say thank you so much to all of you, not just for your support, for your input, for your, and anyone who hasn't commented before, please do. Everyone's welcome. I never delete comments. I don't delete even critical comments, negative comments. I don't delete any of them. I don't think I've even deleted ones which might be considered bullying. Final word is, there were one or two people who clearly didn't watch the video who said, why are you naming this, naming that, naming that? Didn't watch the video. It's over, it's finished, I'm serious. Not engaging, but I am engaging with you guys. Thank you very much for listening. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and may your God go with you.